Okay, this is a great way for teachers and or students to be able to use a touchscreen device, specifically a Chromebook or a touchscreen computer, to be able to record not only their audio but their screen. On top of that, using an app to record anything that's like written down, like a math problem. So it doesn't have to be focused for math purposes, but it can be used very much for that. So there's two apps, or one app and one extension that's very helpful. One's called Sketchpad, which that's why I have it open right here. So if I click on here, it's going to open up in its own window. You could choose any sort of background you'd like to use. So sure, I'll pick graph paper, apply, and I am just going to use this mouse button and just highlight this and backspace and get that out of here. Now I could choose any sort of type of writing utensil. A brush is just fine. Now, like I said before, this is it can be used for math. It can be used for anything that is displaying your information on the screen without having to use paper. So if say it's for math and I was to write out a problem, I could do this as once again as a teacher, or I could do this as a student. So I could use my mouse and write this out, but if I have a touchscreen computer, I could also write out my problem here as well. Plus 6 equals 20. Okay, so I could do this probably more clear using a stylus, but that works. I'm using a touchscreen computer right now. I'm using my finger. I'm recording my information. Now, as a teacher, say I want to record a video and be able to show this to my class to give them an understanding of how to use math concepts, or if I'm a student and I want to show my work, not only visually, writing it down on here, but also verbally, me speaking it, explaining it through a screencast, Snagit is the extension we're going to use. So there are other apps out there, there's other extensions out here, but I prefer Snagit because it works really well. Because what happens is I record everything, and once I'm done recording, it automatically saves into my Google Drive as a video file. Give it a few seconds to render, but at that point, you could turn in that video file to your teacher or post it on your Google Classroom or whatever service you use. And at that point, you're not having to be concerned with a web filter or putting it up on YouTube and having any concerns of your students to be able to see it. So at this point, let's record this. So I go to Snagit. Oh, let me get on here. Let me get on to a new page here for a second. That's actually good you saw that, because some pages, like the apps page here, won't allow you to start recording. So a new tab page like the Google search page works out really well. So at this point, I am going to click on Snagit. Here we go. And this will pop open. And at this point, I am going to click on screen. And here I could choose either the entire screen, the new tab I have open, or my Sketchpad. If I choose Sketchpad, it's only going to record this screen and this screen only. So if I press share, anything that's happening on this screen is being recorded by Snagit. So if I was to complete this, right, try to do it the best I can, and then divide it, right, x equals 7, voila. So I could do this with my finger, which I just did in front of you, or I could do this with a stylus however I want. And at this point, when I'm done with my video, I just click on that Snagit button one more time, and I just press the stop button. Now here it's going to open up my video, and I can give it a name. Okay, so I could just call it math problem for right now. Done. Now what I could do is several things. I could click on these three buttons here. I can send it to YouTube, but we're not doing that because that was the concern that maybe this might be filtered by our network or whatever. So if that's the case, you could actually get the Google Drive link. This is like I said, this is in my Google Drive in a folder called TechSmith. So I could get this link and I could paste it into my classroom or any service you use, or even on a doc, and right then and there, your students will have no problem being able to view a video there on how to do things. So at this point, very helpful. I actually hit play, and I don't know if you heard that, but you'll hear myself talk about it, which is fine. So I can actually hit play. Anything that's happening on this screen is being recorded by Snagit. So if I was to so like I said, if that recorded well, great. If it didn't, that's fine because I'm doing a recording on top of recordings for you to see this. Anyway, it's a nice tip to use. It did not take me very long to do this. You could do this easily. Your students could do this easily. And you could If you're using Classroom or any sort of service, it's very easy for you to send this file to your teacher or have you post this onto your classroom to learn about what they need to do. Hope this helps.